on. We got some new info today. It was Lori and Chad's jail phone calls while Lori was in the slammer, and Chad was calling her about 10 times a day. Well, I'll tell you what, y'all. I looked at every single word they said. And it's just interesting, is it not, that there wasn't any construction project. There wasn't anything being renovated. There were no contractors hired. But oh, Lolo sure did use the terms backyard several times now, didn't she? You know, the part of the phone call where she talks about, yeah, they put the crane in the backyard and all that bullshit. Well, they want to talk their code. That's what they want to do. They think we're a bunch of damn idiots. The bottom line is this, y'all. Chad and Lori were sitting in those jail phone calls and they were laughing their asses off. And you know, I'm looking at the words, and it just harkens back to Rob Wood telling Summer Shiflett that the day before they searched the property on June 9th of 2019, they were getting all their warrants together, and he told Summer, he said that Lori and made some overtures, and Chad talked her out of it. Well, perhaps as Lolo is saying the words backyard several times, that Chad Daybell is using the term optimistic. Because, you know, here's what I think, y'all. I think he had a plan. He had a plan to put a modular home on that place, and I'll tell you what, y'all. He absolutely did not have to talk her out of a damn thing. She absolutely wanted Chad to tell her that the children would not be discovered. That's what she was talking about. This bullshit about blueprints and all of this stupid stuff about Alex and everything. What it comes down to, y'all, that what I hear in it is that Alex was the heavy. Alex did the building, if you know what I mean, in terms of burying, and Chad helped, but Alex did a lot of it. And Lori is trying to get and extract out of Chad, is everything okay? She is absolutely asking him for reassurance. Now, let me just stop for a minute and talk about something about my life real quickly when it comes to that, all right? You know, anytime that I've had any issues in my life since I've been married to Wayne, and there are things that are not just going to go by me or anything like that. There are things that I'm dealing with, y'all. I'll ask Mr. Wayne, I'll say, just, you know, I'll be holding him in bed at night. I'm not trying to get personal, but I want to explain this. And I'll say, honey, just tell me everything's going to be okay. Just tell me that. And he'll tell me that, and it really does help, OKJ. Well, I'm not trying to compare myself to Lolo there because she's a damn hooker. But she wants Chad to reassure her that those children's bodies are not going to be found. And they absolutely think that they're sitting on this phone call and that nobody understands what the hell they're talking about. Grandma Snark says, KJ, another disgusting and very sad day. I'm new to a lot of this by choice. So for me, this chit chat of these two devils is despicable. Well, I'll tell you what, Grandma Snark, and I appreciate you being here. The Rays and I have been on this case for over 4 years. And we've had to take plenty of showers after the bullshit that we've got to deal with. And if anybody's got a problem with my profanity, folks, what these people did pales in comparison. My foul language pales in comparison to what they've done. And let me just be clear. If you hear the foul language, it's for emphasis. That's what it is. Screw them if they don't like our foul language, says Rebellion. Well, there you go. We've got Rebellion on YouTube, y'all. And sometimes rebellion has to do what? It has to rebel against evil. These people, demons walking in human clothes, that's all they are, says Paisley Dreams. LWLW said Chad mentioned Imp Key family. Is that his kids all as leaders of his imaginary kids, including Melanie Pulaski? Well, I don't know because LWLW, I'm out here at Normandy Lake. I confess it. I'm looking at you. I've been on the lake all day. I come back. I wasn't expecting anything. I saw the stupid freaking phone call with Chad and Lori, and it just boiled my blood. Because Lori absolutely wanting assurance that those children's bodies are not going to be found. And Chad is right there, as frumpy and dumpy and stupid as he is. And when you talk about important key family, wasn't it in some testimony today that Samantha Williams' 12-year-old daughter is dark? What? Chad's gonna murder a 12-year-old little girl too? I mean, these people are pathetic. They need to go behind a barn in Tennessee with old KJ. And we go behind the barn and old KJ comes out by myself. I shouldn't say it, but I am. I'm madder than hell. Jill Schneider says that phone call was bizarre. Hello, Regina Carter. The giggles were the worst. Day before the kids were found, and Lori mentioned dig up yard. Crazy. Exactly. You know, Chad was sitting there and his little itty bitty gherkins probably all sucked up in him because he knows the shit's about to hit the fan. He knows. But in some ways he didn't, because on that phone call he's like, I'm optimistic. He was optimistic that nobody would discover those bodies on his property. And let me just be clear. John Pryor did do something in the defense today, his robust defense. He showed exhibit pictures of the garage showing buckets of cement and stuff like that. Y'all, Alex and Chad planned all this. They had it. Just as Lori said, we should have tweaked it. We should have done this. Or, she's basically saying there were just little things that got us busted for murdering my children, Chad. Beach Lady says, no. Alex was working on another batch in the spirit world. Great Dane Mom says these people are disgusting. I'm here to spread the love. Well, I'll tell you what, Great Dane Mom. For every ill, foul word that comes out of my mouth, I guarantee you, I've got enough love for everyone in this world, but I sure as heck I ain't got it for people that want to blaspheme the Holy Spirit and use Jesus Christ's name to murder innocent children. LW says, I hadn't heard. He said Tammy's sister was evil and she was responsible for the evil invasion of Lori. Let me tell y'all what. You can take. These people are not smart. Okay? They're not. They might come up with Pretty Bird and all the stupid stuff we heard the most recent code talk that Melanie Pulowski come up with. They can come up with it all they damn well want. But when you are talking about June 8th of 2019, just the day before, those children's bodies were uncovered by law enforcement, it is clear as crystal, y'all. It's just and the laughing and the giggling. Uh, I wanted so much when I heard it. I'm not even going to tell y'all what I wanted to do. It's just aggravating as hell. Don Spencer says they thought they were so smart. And you know, this whole thing that I think they got off the rails today in terms of, and I just listened to that phone call, but during that phone call, you had Rob Wood stop the recording, and then he would ask a question to Ray Hermosillo. And by the way, Ray Hermosillo can't be touched by John Pryor. Ray Hermosillo, to me, he's a hero. He is absolutely everything that a law enforcement person should be in determining the evidence and getting justice for those children in Tammy. Paisley Dream says it was driving everyone crazy, I think. The laughing. I'm going to tell y'all what. You know, I used to think that they were on GHB or some kind of holistic stuff that maybe these people have figured out they can get high on. They walk around and giggle and laugh. And there was one part where Lori was going to go on a first date with Chad, and she sent Alex a message, and she said, well, maybe after our first date, you can come over after you take your shower and sing songs with us. Y'all, these people are creepy. Did Chad get tipped off about next day yard search like Tammy's exhumation tip off? No, LW. He was sitting there with Lori trying to put her at ease. I mean, my God, y'all. Lori talked about cement. She talked about the backyard. There was about 4 times in that conversation she used the word backyard. And she thinks that nobody's going to figure this out. Because, folks, when they dug down in there with Tylee, there was a hard substance in there. And I guess she wanted Chad to assure her that whatever Alex and him did to conceal, remember, Chad Daybell was charged with alteration, destruction, and concealment of evidence. And y'all remember it was a couple of years ago. OKJ went off the deep end because they dropped those because the first degree murder and conspiracy to murder was just it was the major thing. So they dropped everything else so that they wouldn't have to prove that. Well, they've done proved it. Chad Daybell is a gravedigger. Chad Daybell is telling Lori that the contractor, well, everything's on track, everything's fine. Folks, there was no building or anything. John Pryor came in there and tried to say, well, with the 144,000 and the second coming of Jesus Christ, these people, weren't they going to live in buildings? And Hermosillo says, well, I heard they were going to be tents. Y'all remember Melanie Gibbs said, well, we're the more exalted ones. We're going to be living in the nicer accommodations, and everybody else is going to be living in the white tents. Give me a break. Conbot 10 says, I'm glad they were recording giggling because I'm sure the jury now has no doubt about Child's guilt on all charges. They have to be just as disgusted as we are. Great comment. LWLW says, I guess no tip-off needed. Paranoia and reasonable expectation that Chad's yard wasn't the best hiding place. Folks, here's the bottom line. Chad had already, you think about that, June 8th of 2019, the day before the bodies were found, and you look at the fact that he'd already asked that real estate guy about getting a modular home put on the place and all that. He's letting his hooker know that everything's going to be fine. And if they wouldn't have searched that property the next day, folks, Chad Daybell would have completed their project. Their project was to continue to hide the bodies of those children. And I told the Rays were like, well, hey, people are going to realize that the kids are missing. They can't get away with this. Well, Lori had full custody of the children. She could have done anything she wanted to do. There were no grandparents' rights. There was no Aunt Summy's rights or anybody's rights. And what Lori and them, when they got busted, their plan, y'all, this I'm telling you as I'm sitting here, their plan was to never tell where the kids were. They were going to say, it's all Granny's fault. I.K. Woodcock. And I've got the kids all somewhere because they're my kids. I've got full custody, and nobody tells me, no government or anyone tells me what I'm going to do with my children. And they would have had to have let her out of jail sooner or later, because that would have been, they can't leave them in jail like that without any evidence. Hello, Kathy Mama Bear. LWLW says if they hid in Hawaii, maybe backyard wouldn't seem as stupid. Right? Today's testimony recording sealed his fate, in my opinion, says Leah. I'm going to tell y'all what. Every time the question was asked in that recording, Lori is asking Chad for assurance. Lori's asking Chad all these code things. Chad's not asking Lori, what do we do? Or Lori, and back during all this where they've got testimony where Chad was saying about Tammy, her departure's coming soon. She's turned into Viola. You need to seek confirmation of this, Lori. The only reason he did that was so that they could feel like they were a united front in their murderous plot. That's all it was. It wasn't like Chad needed confirmation from Lori in order to go ahead and murder his wife. He knew how she felt anyway. Hi, Rita Lou. Bombshell in the court today. Horrific to hear, says Rita Lou. The storyteller says, thank God they didn't get away with this horror. I agree. I absolutely agree. And y'all remember we used to talk about it, how wonder if they'll have jail recordings between Chad and Lori. The sad and unfortunate part is he was calling her 10 times a day, and yet the state's only going to give little snippets here and there, 6 to 8 minutes worth of stuff. And yet John Pryor's like, enter it all. But when he cross-examined Ray Armistell, did he play it? No. The state said, well, if you want to play it, it's all in evidence. But he didn't, because he knew that his dang client is guilty in hell. And this whole bullshit about, we got a project, we got a contractor, is the project done? Y'all, the project was to keep the children concealed from being discovered. That's what it was. That's what the project was. And this whole thing about Lori bringing in Alex and all this, and Chad pretending that Alex can text or whatever, or that he can hear Alex or whatever. Y'all, it just cements, and I'm no pun intended, it cements to me that Alex Cox did a lot of the heavy lifting for Chad and Lori. Remember, Chad said, you've done these things that we cannot begin to repay. Is what he was telling Alex in his blessing. Alex Cox helped Lori and Chad. And you know what he got from it? He got, dying on his bathroom floor in his own feces. That's what he got. Okay? And Lori don't give a crap. Lori don't give a crap about her brother. She didn't go to his funeral. She didn't want any of his things or anything like that. She's diabolical. She's evil. And so is Chad Daybell. And if this jury does not see that Chad Daybell, he absolutely had it all laid out in his stupid ass writing. And Lori, it didn't matter. As long as Lori could get away from those children and get back at Kay and all of them, she didn't care. The storyteller says, and they spoke in code. It was sickening. So they went over from what I was able to get, y'all, and I opened this live stream as soon as I was able to kind of catch up. I kind of did, I skim read a lot of stuff, and I listened to the recording and all of that. Folks, give me to the weekend. Let me get back on track. I'm here at the lake. I will absolutely go in depth for everything that's ever been said, but let me just be clear. Chad and Lori both were in this, even Steven, but Chad Daybell was the one that came up with the content, if you want to put it that way. It was the whatever, like for Chad to talk about Viola, he was building into it. He was getting ready. There ain't nothing between a woman's legs worth murdering your wife for. Beach Lady says, I'm going to text Alex and see if he answers all my questions. Yes. I mean, that's just crazy, y'all. And I think when she said that, I think that she was like wanting her questions answered about what's going on with all this. I'm sitting in jail. And they used Alex as the way to talk about it. They also talked about the blueprint and the contractor and all of that. They tried to go around things a little bit, but you could tell exactly where their minds were. They were focused on exactly where those children are at that time. They know where those children are. Chad knows where those children are. Lori knows where those children are. And by the way, today we all know that the hooker has been convicted on all charges. Is going to spend the rest of her life in prison. So she damn well knew everything. And I'll tell you another thing. When she gets her damn trial in Arizona, they're going to damn nail her ass to the wall there too. Denise Gray said Chad played Lori. Lori played Charles. JJ, Tylee, Brandon, and Joe. It's called karma. Kathy Mama Bear says it was obvious, at least to me, what they were talking about. I think Lori was petrified because she had no control over anything while in jail. Good point, Kathy Mama Bear. Beach Lady says both were equally evil and guilty, but it was all Chad's concepts. Yes. Did you hear Lori question him for a second? Well, that's a good question, Ashley Wade. Because, again, Rob Wood is part of that religion, and maybe he could read it better than we could. He tells Summer Shiflett that Lori was like, maybe going to go to the police or something, but I don't sense any of that in there. Just constant Chad reassuring her, keeping her calm. That's what cult leaders do, y'all. That's why he was talking to her 10 times a day. He knew that he had to continue to do this crap, and I'm not calling her a victim. She wasn't stupid. She just she was so eager to believe it, because if she didn't believe it, she would have to, for Chad or anyone else to know she's a murderer of her own children. So she played along with it. She played along with it. Virginia Lopez says, two evil people, they broke the 10 Commandments, all of it. You dang Skippy, Virginia. Beach Lady says, first time I heard summer was dark. Now, it wasn't Samantha William that was dark. Maybe I misread it. It was Summer and her 12-year-old daughter, because I thought it was Samantha Williams' daughter. So please correct me, y'all. I'm just now learning a lot of this. Samantha plus Summer, says LWLW. Okay. The storyteller says he sounded like an idiot to me. I can't imagine people dumb enough to fall for that utter bullcrap. Yes, they all thought they were gods and goddesses, says the storyteller. Folks, I am hearing that the state has one more witness tomorrow, and that they're going to be finished with their case. And we had talked about this earlier in the week, because the witnesses were going faster than we thought. So we're going to have to bite down on John Pryor's robust defense when he gets started. I don't know if he'll do it on Friday, or whether they'll start anew, the defense opening on Monday. LW says maybe the giggles were to obscure code. Well, it could also, maybe they had some, if you giggle this way or that way, these people, they think they're smart, but they're stupid as hell. The ones who were dark didn't believe in the plan, says Carrie Mack. Ashley Wade says Chad is a real psychopath. Are you sure about that, Ashley Wade? Because I can tell you right now, Chad Daybell is a serial killer. He's like the sling blade guy. Give me some taters. Give me some taters. He's like the bad sling blade guy. Jewelbox News says, watch his defense is going to last such a short time with people repeating the same thing over and over, because there really is no defense. Yes, well, John Pryor's got these 4 experts, and I'm just hoping that the state is ready to, the state is locked and loaded. Flashback said, Saturday Night Live would have had Alex Cox, assassin, played by Chevy Chase. What an imagination there, flashback, excuse me. I have no idea what they were saying. Contractor, yard, texting, someone explain. Not just crazy, but I have no clue. What I am trying to get across to everyone, and we'll go more in depth over, it'll either probably be Friday night or Saturday. The bottom line is that Lori is asking Chad, is the bodies of those children safe? That no one can find them. Because she's brought up the backyard. She's brought up digging in the backyard. Y'all, this woman is so stupid. I mean, just think about that. Is it a coincidence that she's talking to Chad about these people that hire people to dig up their yard, and all this, the pull gets done 6 months later? Folks, she's asking Chad in code. She's saying, are you sure they're not going to find the children's bodies? That's what she's saying. That's exactly what she's saying. And he is responding using the term, I'm very optimistic. I'm very optimistic. Hearing the phone call today helped make the call on the day they found the kids make more sense. Yes, it does, Kathy Mama Bear. When Lori was talking to Chad from jail on the day the children's bodies were being discovered, she said, "Are they in the house again?" She wanted Chad to tell her, that it was just like before, that they're not going to discover the bodies and all of that. So take my word for it, because I've just been informed by Kathy Mama Bear. You want to know something? Go back to the day the children's bodies were found, listen to the recording from jail of Lori talking to Chad, and then listen to the recording the day before. Listen to them both, and you'll get a clearer picture. Sometimes they sound like a bunch of middle school kids in some of their conversations, says NF Mom. Maybe she's asking if the plan into the world will hurry and save them. LWLW, I think in some ways she was using those terms like, it's going to be soon and all this and that. But, I'm thinking, and this is just me, that she's using those terms to make it sound like that. But really, it's about her getting out of jail and her and Chad going on to Hawaii to live out their life. That's what I get out of it. Let me just be clear with y'all. If anyone thinks that Lori Hussey Daybell and Chad Guy Daybell thought it was fixing to be to the end of the world, give me a break. They absolutely, they did not stay in the City of Lights in Rexburado like they told Melanie Pulaski and all the rest. They went off to Hawaii where they wanted to be. Oh, the end of the world's not going to touch them in Hawaii? Give me a break. At that point, she still thought she could bond out and they could go live in Hawaii happily ever after, says Kathy Mama Bear. Folks, this goes back to this whole thing. Okay, let's just for sake of argument, that everyone that believes in this crazy ass shit, right? They got to be intense on the back of Heather Daybell's property or Chad Daybell's property, right? Folks, the 144,000 aren't going to get any protection from God Almighty? Give me a break. All the natural disasters and all that stuff, and they're living in tents, them tents will roll them down a hill just like it could have happened with this RV yesterday. These people are not living in reality. Yeah, Carrie Mack says the neighbor's house put up for bail. Ha ha, basically. Yeah, I mean, what happened to Tammy's blood money? And by the way, why would Chad need to ask anybody for money, right? Is somebody coming in here? There he is. Oh, what'd you bring me? Did you bring me a special surprise?
No, I'm taking out the garbage.
Okay, I'll be done here shortly, honey. That's Mr. Wayne. I'm eating fresh cherries. Wasn't it nice? Excuse me, y'all. I shouldn't eat while I do live stream. That's rude. I'm sorry, y'all. Been out on the boat all day. The storyteller says, wasn't it nice to hear her being worried and a bit scared after seeing how arrogant and smug she has appeared in court day after day? Yes. And that one part of the recording where she says, where Chad says, well, you could text him or, talking about Alex, I guess. And she says, well, I can't text anybody. She might as well have said, Chad, I'm in jail. Get me out of here. Yes, I survived it, Kathy Mama Bear. Debbie Buke says they were heading to a yacht flowing around Earth on money from the dead. Oh, I'll tell you this, Debbie Bukes. What was going to keep Chad and Lori from going overseas? Is anybody going to be able to say, you better bring those children back? No, that was their plan. I think they were going to go to Colombia. I think they were going to go somewhere, maybe where Zulema's been, Chile or whatever. And nobody could have done anything. Her defense in Arizona is going to be throwing Chad way under the bus after this mess in Idaho. Well, Paisley Dreams, I can tell you this. I'm going to pull a Chad, y'all, but I'm going to be truthful about it. In my opinion, I believe Chad Daybell get charged in Arizona. And it wouldn't surprise me one damn bit if both of them are sitting at the defense table, both of them co-defendants together at last. Some say, well, KJ, no, Lori's going to want her speedy trial. I'll tell you what. She's just been assigned a new attorney. That's going to take some time for him to get up to speed. And if anyone thinks that Lori's going to just demand a speedy trial where she can't get sitting at the table with her husband there, give me a break. Hello, Stephanie Willow. Carrie Max is still ain't getting around. Grandma Snark says the facts will be crystal clear in Arizona no matter what they try to do. I'll tell you what, y'all, I just have this feeling they did the same thing to Lori. When she got convicted, it wasn't very long after that, they filed those charges in Arizona on her. And she got extradited. And I think after this trial, if a attorney's office, the DA in Maricopa County can't see Chad Daybell calling the funeral home, the whole damn 9 yards, they can kiss my country ass. Heidi's mind said, holy hell, that jail call was everything. There's nothing them Daybell kids can say to get them to flip the jury. Hi, little lady Di. Yes, Ashley Wade, I agree. Both Melanies should be charged. Y'all, we're going to have to hear. We're going to have to hear those Daybell children. Don't y'all find it interesting that in John Pryor's opening statement, he says 4 of the 5, then he says 3 to 4. He needs to make up his damn mind who's going to come in there and lie for old daddy boy. Hi, Julie Cole. Julie Cole says hello, Wayne, and Kathy Mama Bear said hello.
I said hi.
He said hello, y'all. It's been great to see the prosecution slamming down the hammer on Chad and Pryor. Yes, Julie Cole. I think we probably will, Beach Lady. I think a lot of y'all have already got it figured out. John Pryor, he's gonna have his experts. He's gonna do this circular stuff over and over and over again. It's to confuse the jurors, not let them focus on really what we all know, and that is Chad Daybell's guilty as hell. Rebellion said, Wayne made it. I'm glad you're here, Rebellion. And you are saying what you are about my hubby. The Rays know that my hubby's my sweetie. He's my fishing buddy. He's my man. Debbie Buke says Wayne is so cool. He's got to be cool to put up with me, y'all. Really. LWW says, so when Tammy went alone to her family, Lori slept. It's a good question. Very tags. Grandma Snark says, loved when Pryor said Zolema, or something like that. I'm going to have to go back and listen to some of this stuff. See, these are things I'm trying. I would rather hear it from y'all. I can't hear the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, how sweet, Denise Gray. Denise Gray says, you and Wayne are great examples. How sweet is that? You're so sweet, Denise. Oh, y'all. Rebellion says, I love Wayne and I love you too. And that's coming from Rebellion. How sweet is that? Zaluma. She gets some chips and salsa. Sulema gotta get the chips and salsa. Oh my goodness. Are y'all stuck on Zuzu's name? I just call her the Volcano Woman. Oh, Rebellion says my youngest just finished high school today. Well, congratulations to your youngest. How's that is special? Ashley Wade said, I bet Chad told the kids not to watch the trial. He was told by the Lord. I guarantee y'all, Emma and the rest of them know exactly what's going on. Kathy Mama Bear says that Pryor can't pronounce Zulima's name. Heidi's Mind says, Chad's getting charged 100%. I seriously believe Melanie Pulowski will also. I must be a horrible person, but I'm over Emma. I've ran out of compassion. Where's her compassion for Cresha K, Larry, and her grandma? Her grandma, yeah, I get it. Well, you never know, Grandma Snark, when old KJ's just going to come up with some unrelated stuff. It just flows out crazy. Pam Key says, I was worried about the jury in the beginning of the trial. Now they have made their case. Hate to finally have justice for Tammy, Tylee, and JJ. Enjoy your time away with Mr. Wayne. Well, thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. Debbie Biggs, Zulik, Volcano today, darling. Yes, Ashley Wade, the kids could perjure themselves on the stand, and the state could impeach their testimony, depending on what it is. It's just going to be sad because the state has made it a point over and over again to bring all of these faculty members from Tammy's school saying how she was perfectly fine, healthy, and all of that. These dance instructors, the clogger, Zumba. See, y'all got me saying Zulema. Zumba instructor and all of that. And then here comes Chad's kids, and they're going to say something totally opposite than all of these people have said. I'm not ready to say that the kids knew, that Chad's children knew that the missing kids were in the yard. I'm not ready to do that. I don't see it in any of the evidence. Maybe you've got a different view, but I don't see Chad's children as villains. I just don't. VixTech says Tammy had great friends. If they are drinking the Kool-Aid, we will all feel bad. Carrie Mack, John Pryor has sat down with those children and told them, if you don't go in there and protect your father, he's going to get the death penalty. What would you do? Some of us would be like, well, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell the truth and all this and that, y'all. I've never been faced with that. I don't know if any of y'all have ever had to go on the stand to tell the truth that was going to do something to take someone you love into prison. I've never heard of Tammy reading any of Chad's books, but she was the one that did all the covers from them. She possibly, I'm sure, she probably helped proofread them because Chad's a shitty writer. And by the way, let's put it in the comments right now. Chad, we hate your books. Okay? Chad Daybell, we hate your books. All right? Your books suck. Kathy Mama Bear says Tammy edited them from what I understand. Regina Carter says, I have been watching Court Case every day, but really don't know if I can tolerate Pryor when the defense takes over. Well, Regina, we're all going to see the forest through the trees on what John Pryor's going to do. Obviously, we already know by now, in a nutshell, that he's trying to make the jury look at Melanie Gibb. And he's also trying to have the jury look at Alex Cox. He doesn't want Chad or Lori because he knows he can't blame it on Lori. Even though in his opening statement he said she's a woman that gets what she wants and everything. Through this whole thing, it's been either Alex or Melanie Gibb that John Pryor is trying to do what? He thinks he's trying to do some reasonable doubt there. But Chad is so intertwined with the hooker, there's no way to separate the two. They did everything together. And yes, Fix Tex, Chad wants to call Tammy lazy. He is a son of a bitch. He couldn't even hold a damn job. He, part-time sexton? I guess he got his rocks off. He gets his rocks off. He gets to get on a freaking airplane and pretend he's some damn famous author. And then he goes and he womanizes. He tried to screw Julie Rowe. That didn't work. I mean, some say maybe it happened. Who knows? Carrie Mack says Tammy helped him make money as she worked full time. Chad Daybell's a scumbag. He deserves everything he's gonna get. And I can't wait for the sentencing phase. Because I hope that these people and Tammy's family, along with Kay and the rest of them, go off the deep end this time. Tell Chad Daybell he's nothing. He's a freaking idiot. Heidi's Mom says, I don't think they knew, but it's just what they have done since it's proven. Emma went to the temple for JJ and Tylee as stepsister after they were found. It's on the website. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, this proxy stuff, it's creepy. It's nowhere in Holy Scripture. It might be in the Book of Mormon. To each their own, right? Grandma Snark says, Pryor grates on my last nerve. Has too many idiosyncrasies that irritate me. Carrie Mack says, Emma had a dream she was going to have to move home from across the street. Well, I'll tell you what. They need to knock that house down of Chad Daybell's and put a park there. That's what they need to do. It's disgusting that John Pryor, he needs to donate it. Debbie Biggs says, Bubba's going to steal his brownies off his plate. I guarantee you, Debbie. Unless Chad Daybell gets him some Twinkies at commissary, I ain't going to be serving no damn brownies. The only brownie that Chad Daybell, being the translated being that he is when he sits on the damn silver pot in his freaking jail cell shit with a great big log coming out. Regina Carter says, ew, just ew. I've got faith in the jury because Pryor was so transparent in his trying to confuse and baffle and misrepresent the truth, says Jet Set J. Julie Coe says, I do wonder why Emma never mentioned the discovery of the children when she spoke to him on camera the day he's arrested. Well, y'all, we know, according to a law enforcement official, that he was over at Emma's for about an hour and a half. You know, these people, they talk in code. They know how to get around. They want to bleed the dragon, which is government, and yet they want to suck the tit of them at the same time. These people are crafty. And I'm not saying Emma knew anything, but I don't think she's going to be stupid enough to sit there and say, Dad, those children are in the backyard. Dad, why'd you do it, as he's sitting in the back of the police car? But she did say, now I understand more than ever. Give me a break, y'all. Heidi's Mind says, I hope Kay ends her statement with, Chad, we hate your stupid books. Beach Lady says, Baba's gonna get that brownie all right. Ashley Wade says the brownie will be running down his ass cheeks. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my Lord. Debbie Big says waste of trees. Right, Carrie Mack. A daughter is a mom's best friend. It's sad. Well, there's also a such thing as daddy's girl. And I would say Emma is daddy's girl. I would love to hear it, NF Mom, when you say I want to hear the jailhouse phone calls between Emma and Lori. Oh, disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And to think that she was telling Dateline that they didn't know about JJ and Tylee before, until everything happened. That's scary. So, they also went over some things that in terms of Alex's movements and all of these other things that we've already kind of knew about in the Hookers trial. And I didn't see it curtailed more to Chad. It just was the same information. They talked about the recording, obviously, is all really I can thank y'all that I even really want to speak about because it's new. And the fact that they were talking to each other 10 times a day, according to Ray Hermosillo, it's scary. We know what they said on the jail phone call the day the children's bodies were discovered. And just think of it like this. Rob Wood told Summer Shiflett, if she would have came forward the day before, things would have been a lot different. Right? Well, did she act like she wanted to come forward? No, she was giggling. She was wanting reassurance, Chad, that the children's bodies would never be found. It's scary. Yes, Heidi's Mind. The state will get a rebuttal before closing statements. Well, now what it is the state will have a closing argument, then the defense will have a closing argument, and then the state takes the defense's closing argument. They can only rebut what was said in John Pryor's closing argument. They can't go back and say the same thing they said in their closing. So, yes, absolutely. Jet Set J, all you have to do in terms of Chad and Lori's jail phone call that was played today is go to East Idaho News on YouTube And there's actually where they cut it, they've clipped it, where it's just the recording, and you click on, the about of it, and then below it, you'll say transcript. And then you click on the transcript, and as it's being played on YouTube, you can see exactly what they're saying. So, I want y'all to know that OKJ's got one more day down here at the lake. We're going to be out on the boat all day tomorrow into the evening. We're going to be packing up, getting ready. By Friday morning, the RV will be taken back to our home, and OKJ will get back to justice through understanding the best I can. I apologize that I haven't come more prepared, but this week has been a really good week for me. I've been trying to release a lot of negativity and heaviness in my heart. I've been trying really hard to get back to OKJ. I just want y'all to know that we will get together again and we'll get back down to business. Getting justice through understanding. Continue to visit Difficult Research with Krisha Case, and I know all you will. And know that I love you all. I hope y'all have a great evening. If you heard something in that recording or any testimony today that you want to share with OKJ, because I don't have all the facts, please leave it on the rewatch so that I can get your thoughts, your ideas, and opinions. So with that said, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to cook supper. Enjoy the rest of the evening. I love you all. Have a great evening. Keep on looking.